In traditional farming and permaculture, water retention and soil structure are often overlooked until problems arise. Overworked soil dries out too quickly, nutrients leach away, and plants struggle during dry spells. I discovered a method inspired by ancient techniques and natural observation, combining old leaves and clay to create a living sponge layer in the soil. This isn't just about holding water, it's about regenerating the soil ecosystem. The leaves provide organic matter, microbes, and initial structure, while the clay binds the material and retains moisture, creating a system that slowly releases water to plant roots. For backyard gardeners, permaculture enthusiasts, and small-scale farmers, this method can dramatically improve soil health and resilience with minimal investment. The core principle relies on layering organic matter and mineral components. You know, old leaves are often considered waste, but in this method they're actually a key ingredient. By layering leaves, we create little pockets that trap water, air and nutrients, while the clay particles help bind them into a semi-porous structure. This, in turn, creates a sort of sponge-like effect. Water is absorbed quickly, held in place, and then released gradually to the surrounding soil. So, to replicate this, you start by collecting dry leaves, shredding them if you can, and mixing them with clay-rich soil or even powdered clay. The combination should feel damp, but not waterlogged. This way, the leaves and clay can bond together naturally. Microbial activity over time turns the layer into a living system. You know, the leaves and clay mixture becomes more than just a passive water reservoir. Microbes begin breaking down the leaves, converting them into humus while binding clay particles into stable aggregates. And then fungi colonize the layer, extending networks that help water and nutrients move deeper into the soil. For practical application, it's best to avoid chemical sterilization and instead introduce compost or garden soil containing beneficial microbes to jumpstart the process. Over a few weeks, the layer transforms into a self-sustaining sponge that integrates seamlessly with the surrounding soil, improving fertility and structure simultaneously. The layer works best when integrated below the topsoil. So, I found the most effective setup is creating a 5 to 10 centimetre layer beneath the active root zone of plants. This ensures that water is stored within reach of roots without saturating surface soil, which can encourage disease. To implement this, just dig a shallow trench or loosen an existing bed. Lay the leaf-clay mixture evenly and then cover with a thin layer of existing soil. This placement protects the layer from erosion, allows plant roots to access water gradually, and encourages soil organisms to colonize both the layer and the surrounding areas. The method emphasizes gradual decomposition for long-term benefits. Unlike mulches that break down quickly or clay that is inert, the leaf clay sponge decomposes slowly, providing sustained benefits for months or even years. Each season, adding a small layer of fresh leaves on top replenishes nutrients and maintains the sponge effect. Modern gardeners can apply this by monitoring soil moisture and top-dressing annually with shredded leaves or compost. Over time, this creates a self-renewing water retention layer that improves yields, reduces watering needs, and regenerates soil structure naturally. The system adapts to different soil types and climates. Clay content can be adjusted depending on local soil. Sandy soils benefit from a higher clay ratio, while heavy clay soils need less to avoid compaction. Leaf variety also influences water retention and microbial activity. Oak leaves provide slow decomposition, while softer leaves like maple or poplar decompose faster, accelerating humus formation. For backyard application, experiment with small test plots using different leaf types and clay ratios, observing how water retention and plant growth respond. This allows fine-tuning for your specific soil and climate conditions. The layer demonstrates broader principles of soil management. Creating a living sponge layer is not just a technique, it's a mindset. It teaches that soil is a dynamic ecosystem, where organic matter, minerals, microbes, and plant roots interact. It also shows how historical and natural methods can, quite often, outperform synthetic interventions. For practical learning, pair this method with cover cropping, mulching, or compost teas to amplify microbial activity and soil health. Understanding these interactions transforms soil management from a task into, well, a holistic practice. You know, practical application can start in your backyard today. First, collect fallen leaves, shred or chop them to increase surface area and mix with clay or clay-rich soil. Then prepare a shallow trench or loosen an existing bed. Place the mixture evenly and lightly cover with soil. Next, introduce compost or beneficial microbes, water gently to settle the layer and allow it to integrate for a few weeks before planting. Monitor soil moisture and top dress with fresh leaves annually to maintain the sponge. Even small-scale applications in raised beds or garden plots demonstrate measurable improvements in water retention, plant health, and soil vitality. If you want more practical soil regeneration techniques, forgotten farming methods, and hands-on experiments inspired by history and permaculture, subscribe to Farm Logic and, well, share this video. The living sponge layer isn't just an experiment. It's a proven, low-cost and sustainable way to transform soil into a resilient, fertile and water-efficient system for any garden or small farm.